Today we will be seeing some of the data cleaning techniques used, like handling null values, basic cleaning of the data types, calculated fields, scaling and encoding. So in this episode, we are going to focus on some of the cleaning methods. So these are some of the cleaning methods I have listed. It is not an extensive list. There are so many different ways of cleaning and handling and organizing the data. However, we will be focusing on the basic ones to start with, and we will see some of the advanced way of handling the data in the next coming episodes. Some of them are like handling the null values. Null values are nothing but no data, which we say here, right? So see here, no data, and also we saw no data. So many places we might have no data which will become null values when we import into data frame. We will have to see how we can convert that into different values. And then basic data cleaning, like some of the we had seen some parentheses, we might have to remove it. We saw some of the different data types we might have to change, that comes in data type cleaning. Some string need to be converted into integer, and float needs to be converted into different data formats, and date format sometimes we need to convert, and things like that. We also need to have sometimes to convert a new field from existing fields, that is called as calculated values. And there are some advanced way of handling the data called as scalar and encoding, which we will be doing in the next episodes. Okay, in this episode we'll be focusing on the first four part. So let us start by importing the libraries. So we need pandas libraries, and we will need regular expression pandas for handling all the data into a data frame, and regular expression for string operations like finding and replacing and things like that. So let us first of all get the data into the data frame. So this is a URL and copied from here, share URL. If you can click on it, you will get this kind of URL. You can copy that, or you can also take the entire code itself in Python or R. So we're going to use Python for all our purpose. And the same thing I have given here. I'm getting some error, says that there is a Utf Kodak error. So for this we need to, sometimes, most of the time it works, but this is specifically they are using a different encoding. So it will work if you give ISO 8859 this -1. This is the encoding that we need to specify. By providing it, it automatically loads the data. So what would have happened is one of the data in one of the cells is not recognized by default encoder, and that's why we need to specify the ISO encoder. So if we execute this df, we will see, this is how the data frame is looking like. The no data is getting converted into NANs. NAN is nothing but not a number, right? So we might have to deal with those not a numbers, right? So first of all, before going into this, we will have to get some information about each and every columns in our data set, right? So I have defined a simple function which will do that. For all the columns, it will define what is a column type, how many null values are there, should we have to process null values in a different way, right? To get all those things, we are going to define this particular function, and we are going to call the function, right? So I'm going to call print info and df. So if we use this function, it will print the data frame. Okay, so you can see that the column type is name. Name is nothing but the movie name. It's an object type, and it is having no null values. Nothing is null value, and there is 0% null value. Similarly, you can see year is an object, 528. So 3.4% of null values are there, and duration 8269, 53% it is null value, and genre, rating, voting, and all these things are there, right? So these are all the different types of the data types, and we have to start. This is the summary of the data set. You can also use different other methods of getting the information about the data set, but this is something which is useful to understand the null values, number of null values, and how do we handle such null values. Okay, so now handling the empty values, right? There is something called as in Python, in pandas we have something called fill NA. Fill in is nothing but filling. NA is nothing but null values with what data object? With 0, right? If you give fill NA 0, all the null values in the data frame will be converted into 0, and whatever the output, that is nothing but a data frame, I am replacing with our old data frame itself. So by replacing this, there will no null value at all, right? So if you want to see the output of this, you can just I'll go here and then say df.head. So it will print first 5 rows. You can see all the null values have become zeros here. So this is one way of handling it, but you can also do different ways. You can get an average and replace with an average, and different other methods are there. We will address it in the future. The next one, there is a column called year, and year is having this parenthesis. You can see here, this parenthesis I would like to remove, right? So they have written a very simple function here. You can see there are some zeros also, which is nothing but null value ones. I don't want to touch that because there is no parenthesis further. So other than that, everything else I am converting into, replacing those parentheses with null. I mean, I'm stripping those parentheses, right? So this is the function for that. And to understand how it works, right? So we might have to use something called as apply function on a data frame for a particular column. You can say apply. That means all the values in that particular column will go through this particular function by using this apply. So if I do this, the entire year column, only year column, will be going through this particular function and replacing it, stripping those parentheses. Now if you see the data frame, you can see that this year value, you can see years parentheses have been removed. Okay, that is one first step of cleaning the data and converting to string into integer. For example, there is something called duration here. So you can see in this particular info table, duration is not a integer, it is an object. I want to convert that object into integer, right? And also duration is showing in min, minutes. I need to remove those minutes. So I'm going to remove the minutes by using strip function only if the value is not 0. This is the function. I am going to execute this by using apply function. I am using the head function to see the top 5 values of it, and you can see the duration has been converted into normal integer. Similarly, clean votes. So there are certain values. Sometimes I'm seeing this 5.16 million and things like that. This is a wrong value. I need to remove that row, or I need to replace that particular cell to 0 value. I am doing it. And also votes are having this commas, which is not recognized by our function data frame, and I want to convert that into integer. So this function will do all those things in particular column called votes. I am applying that votes for that particular column, and everything has been cleaned in the votes. So let me see that the result of it by using head. You can also use something called tail. It will print the bottom 5 rows here, right? The votes got converted, and whatever the commas and those things were there, I think it was there in the head. Let me show you. No, the bigger values were having the commas, like I'll show you here. You can see in the votes, right? 6,326th row, right? 6329, 6,329, but it is having a comma. I don't like to see the comma because when I loaded, the data frame did not understand. So if I want to see that particular record 20 to 30, I can give like this. So you can see here 6,329, it is properly converted into integer value, right? So this is there, and now I will print the information again, and to see, the year has been converted to integer, duration has been converted to integer, and all the cleaning has been happened. Now I want to create a new field, right? What I'm planning to do is, there is something called rating, which is the average rating given by the users, and votes. Votes are nothing but number of votes. For example, some movies will be 5 rating, but only one person has voted. Maybe the director himself has voted as 5. Do you think that is better? Or there is another movie which is rated as 8, but 1,000 people has rating as 8. Do you prefer that movie is better, right? So always the vote and rating should go hand in hand. So I'm going to convert a new column called score, which is nothing but combination of these two. What I'm planning to do, I'm doing simple multiplication. So vote multiplied by rating, I'm converting it to a new column called score, which I will be using to value which movie is better, right? So this is what I'm planning. So this is a new column. I'm creating score is equal to data frame of rating multiplied by data frame of votes, and I'm printing that. So if I print that, you can see the score is getting printed at the last column, and this is combination of 7 8s are 56, and for 4.4 multiplied by 35 is 154 and things like that. Okay, so I mean, this is not the best way of doing it, because I'm giving equal weightage for both votes and rating. You might have to give more weightage for rating than votes, so you can do that by adding some kind of factor to it, right? For example, I'm going to multiply it, but not with the full factor. Maybe I'm going to give more weightage for this by multiplying this by, let us say, 10, right? And no, I'm not multiplying. I'm going to add this value by let us say 10, and then multiply that, right? So this is another way you want to see how it works, right? This is having you want to give more weightage for rating, or if you want to give more weightage for votes, so you can do the same thing for this, something like that. Okay, so this is different approach you can use to create a new calculated value. Okay, let us see in using describe function of a data frame. You can see every every column, what is the count, right? This is having 15,500, duration is 15,500, and everything is 15,500, and mean value is this one, and standard deviation is this much, and minimum value is 0. Maximum value you can see 2022 because it's year, duration is 321 minutes, rating maximum value is 10, voting maximum value is 91,000, right, or 591,000. So there is no comparison between the maximum value of rating and maximum value of vote. So if you want to compare these two, or adding or take these two as a feature, always vote value will influence more to the description, to the algorithms or calculated fields or anything like that. So we will be using some different scalars for that. We'll be seeing that in the next episode. In this episode, I just want to conclude here by saying that there are so many ways of cleaning and organizing the data. To start with, these are all the simple steps to analyze the data, see how it looks like, convert into the format which is needed for your algorithm, an integer, floating, date format, string format, whatever it is. And then if you want to create a new calculated field, do that, and find out some basic vulnerabilities like blank values or extremely high values and things like that. Okay, so thank you for watching this, and we will see in the next video. Thank you. Bye.